اللهم اجعل محياي محيا محمد وآل محمد ومماتي ممات محمد وآل محمد. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to ICZ's September 10th Muharram live stream. Now Brother Jawed will start with some Quran.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولقد جئتمونا فرادا كما خلقناكم أول مرة وتركتم ما حولناكم وراء ظهوركم وما نرى معكم شفعاءكم الذين زعمتم أنهم فيكم شركاء ولقد جئتمونا فرادا كما خلقناكم أول مرة وتركتم ما خولناكم وراء ظهوركم وما نرى معكم شفعاءكم الذين زعمتم أنهم فيكم شركاء لقد تقطع بينكم وضل عنكم ما كنتم تزعمون إن الله فالق الإصباح وجعل الليل يخرج النهار فالق الشمس والقمر حسبانا ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم. فالق الإصباح وجعل الليل سكنا والشمس والقمر حسبانا ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم. وهو الذي جعل لكم النجوم لتهتدوا بها في ظلمات البر والبحر قد فصلنا الآيات لقوم يعلمون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. پر محمد اہل بیت محمد صلوات.
Jazakallah, Brother Jawed. Now, Brother Shazal Taki will recite a salam.
برائے کچھ نہیں امام سمون بلند تر سلامات اللہم صلی علی محمد وعلی آلہ. رو کے کہتی تھی سکینہ اب تو آ جاؤ چچا مجھ کو پانی نہیں پینا اب تو آ جاؤ چچا اپنے ہاتھوں سے جو پہنا یہ تھے تم نے لا کر دیکھو آدھا نے میرے چھین لیے وہ گوہر دل مضطر کو دلاسا اب تو آ جاؤ چچا راہ دشوار ہے کوئی بھی نہیں ہے میرا کیا چچا اپنی بھتیجی سے بھی ہوتے ہیں خفا ایک لمحے کو خدا را اب تو آ جاؤ چچا میرے پیروں میں ہے چالے میری گردن میں رسن مجھ سے برداشت نہیں ہوتے ہیں اب رنج و محن کیا کرے آپ کی دکھیا اب تو آ جاؤ چچا آپ پر گزری ہے جو مجھ کو سناؤ آ کر ظلم کس درجہ ہوئے ہیں وہ بتاؤ آ کر دل پھٹا جاتا ہے میرا اب تو آ جاؤ चचा मरसिया भाई करो रो के सुनाने वाली मर गई कैद में गाजी को बुलाने वाली आखिरी दम भी था नौहा अब तो आ जाओ चचा मरकदे बीबी पर जबा या है अब्बास का सर ऐ शरर कैसे लिखूं था कि अजब वो मंजर एक कयामत का था गिरिया अब तो आ जाओ चचा अब तो आ जाओ चचा
Now, Hujjatul Islam Maulana Hadi Yassin will begin his speech.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى لقاء يوم الدين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر الأهد مني لزيارتكم altogether السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين صلوات على محمد وعلى محمد. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. May Allah inshallah accept our amal, our dua, azah and mourning for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein inshallah and reward us for our presence in this majlis tonight together. Last night we started a topic of our skills and our talent and ability to control our emotions. Something that we see that it is totally related to our divine perspective, to our, how we look at a belief system and how we look at them, and how we're supposed to regulate our emotions. The set of emotion we mentioned last night about the positive, the negative, the happy one, the sad one, all those that we mentioned factors that are related to how that we can manage or regulate our emotions, such as our genes, the environment, the personality, lifestyle, worldview. And one of the important things we mentioned was about the belief system, that how it can help us to regulate our emotions. How do we see the things and events and incidents around, and how we perceive them, how they can be control, this is the term and terminology we use, control ourselves and our emotion. When it comes to emotional regulations, regulation means control your emotions. Do not let that drive you somewhere that is extreme. Control it and make it in balance. And when you lose this control, we call it emotional dysregulations, if you want to put it this way, that you couldn't control your emotions. That sadness is too extreme that makes someone depressed. That sadness. And we mentioned the example of Ahlul Bayt. How come the tragedies that they had, the issues such as Karbala that happened, to the very, very disturbing level, such as Karbala, the physical aspects of it, and the tragedy that happened, how come this does not make Ahlul Bayt, which is the biggest musibah, does not make Ahlul Bayt and the Usra of Ahlul Bayt, does not make them to lose control over them, their emotions, such as sadness. Why we don't see something like that happen to them, so they lose their behavior in terms of how they conduct. We see that opposite, power and behavior. We mentioned that comes from the control over selves. The control over selves that we mentioned, the first aspects of it, which is about the belief system and believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and of course the practical steps that comes within this belief system. The important aspects, when it says control your emotions, what does it come to you? It's so similar to what religions talk to us about. Actually, the religions, the divine religions come to us and says, you need to control yourself. You need to control your desires. You need to be the one who leads you yourself and your emotions, not your emotion leads you and control you. If you see that someone is depressed, is the emotion that is controlling that person to the extent that he or she cannot go out work. If someone has extreme anxiety and is extremely anxious, is that feeling is is preventing that person from doing a lot of things. Islam comes, specifically this religion, comes and talk a lot about control yourself. Taqwa, piety, controlling desires, controlling hawa ya nafs. Very, very similar to this topic of emotional regulation. You need to regulate your emotion, means you need to control your emotions. Because if you want to regulate something, you should be in control. Have you seen the equalizers, right, in your devices or something? You should be in control to be able to put it up and down. Is it a good sound or not? So then you're in control, you're in charge. Islam keeps saying, control your desires, keep yourself away from sins, keep yourself away from wrongdoings, haram. You want to mention whatever name, you want to mention something else, you can put something else. But these things that are harmful for yourself, your nafs, your emotions, your spirituality, your iman, your deen, get away from them. Well, some people says, I know it's bad, but I can't control it. The drug addict comes and says, I know it's bad for me, I can't control it. Someone comes, I know I shouldn't look at non-mahram, but I can control my eyes. Well, I don't want to smoke, but I can control it. I promise myself not to watch certain things, but I can't control it. It's at the level of addiction. Where the addiction comes from, losing your control over certain things, right? Losing control. Losing control over, well, something makes you so sad or something makes you so happy, thrilled, which shouldn't be to that level. We mentioned a different example, if you remember, such as jealousy. Someone is feeling so much strong towards someone else that why they became successful and not me, that they feel jealousy. They might do something against the success of that person. Well, that's extreme. You're not supposed to do that. The feeling of pride. Someone is so proud of himself that you're called American. The topic of loneliness, the topic of anger, such as a good example, someone is so angry, cannot control the anger, and then, okay, so that's too much. You lost it. You were not supposed to yell that moment in front of others. What happened? Well, I don't know. I lost my control. So where that control comes from, that Islam keeps talking about it, control, control, control. Well, apparently Imam Hussein, he could say, I'm not going to go to Kufa. I'm not going to go to Karbala. Well, all right, so just to save my life, so I have a choice. Let's pledge the allegiance with Yazid. No, he has control over his desires to the best level. Go on and on, different examples. You do, by the way. All of us, we practice certain things, certain time to the best level. You want an example? Ramadan. In Ramadan, your desires tells you to drink, to eat during the day. You say, no, I'm in charge. Because of I'm being charged, I'm telling you, stomach, that you're hungry and you're thirsty. I'm telling you no. I know my mouth, you're so thirsty, but I'm telling you no. You're in charge once forever. You want to do ghaibah? No. You want to be jealous? Astaghfirullah. No, I'm fasting. You want to fight with someone? Astaghfirullah, I'm fasting. Where that comes from? It comes from your belief system. Your belief system is controlling your behavior. Your belief system is controlling your actions. Your belief system is controlling your desires. How come we might lose it after Ramadan? In Muharram, similar. You control yourself. You do a lot of things by controlling yourself. You're not angry at, okay, so how? That emotion comes, spirituality comes, and guides you towards control your behavior. That's exactly what Islam talks about. The origin of following Islamic regulations, brothers and sisters, is this. Control, control, control. Quran, ayat of Quran. Says, didn't I tell you shouldn't follow shaitan? I told you. Do not actually worship shaitan. Alam ahad ilaykum ya bani Adam an la ta'budu shaitan. Didn't I take that covenant and oath and allegiance from you that, hey, you shouldn't, don't do ibadah, don't worship shaitan? Yes. Qalu bala. Yes, you said. Well, I took this from you. That means you control yourself. Because shaitan is going to come and he's going to deceive you. Adam, you're in heaven. Didn't I tell you be careful? Don't eat from that tree? Yeah. You should control yourself. Although it's tarki ola, it's not haram or anything, but you should control yourself. Controlling nafs, controlling issues. So the first things that comes is that the belief system, how it comes and help the believers, mu'mineen. By the way, that can be from all religions. Christianity, Judaism, they have certain things here, but Islam to the highest level of controlling by the teachings of Quran and Ahlul Bayt. That's why it's the most completed religion, right? It's the last edition of the holy books, of all regulations that all other religions they had. And Islam comes and said, like we said last night about, oh, if someone is going to reprimand you and put you down, no one, whatever they want to say, you're not going to be upset. You're not going to be, in huzn and issue or sad about what they said. If you lose something in the past, you lost it, you're not going to be too upset about it. Don't be upset about it. All right. So overall, we mentioned about the power of belief system, the power of Iman here, Iman billah. You believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me go to the details now. We're talking details. What are the practical steps? Number one, with belief system comes with what? Comes what? With believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes what? Comes you believe in Him and His power, that He's in charge of everything. That's the whole topic of Tawheed and everything. So with that comes tawakkul. With that comes you rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You rely on Him. You're not relying on other people, that if your friend, your family member, someone did something wrong, it makes you upset. This is an emotion, but doesn't make you go so extremely into this to be depressed. Why? Because you're tawakkul and you rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Mentally tawakkul, emotionally tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's a hadith from Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Rasulullah asked Jibreel, can you tell me what is tawakkul? Very interesting. Rasulullah is asking Jibreel. Jibreel is teaching Rasulullah. What is the teaching? What is the meaning of tawakkul? Jibreel says that indeed tawakkul means the creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cannot harm you or cannot benefit you. They cannot bestow anything to you, or they cannot prevent you from reaching something. That means if Allah doesn't want that from happening, doesn't want that to happen. They don't have the absolute power, the creatures of Allah. They can't hurt you. They can't benefit you. If Allah doesn't want it, ultimate power is in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then He says that you don't be dependent on the creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and only be dependent on Allah. You don't have hope in the creatures, hope in Allah, the creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you do this, then you would not rely on anyone except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you won't have anyone's hope except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the soul of tawakkul. This is the meaning of tawakkul. the level of tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the things around my life are changing or happening, the more you have control over your emotions. To the extent that if the bala and calamity happen, God forbid, for someone or to someone, the control is there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, I didn't do anything. I did what I was supposed to do, but Allah is testing me. Different examples. Yunus is in the belly of that big fish, right? Allah is testing. He's not losing everything. Ya Allah, why? I just, did something against the kuffar and the disbelievers. Why you're punishing me or something? Musa the same way. Hazrat Isa the same way. Yusuf the same way. He didn't say, oh, why I'm going to be far away from my family and the bottom of the well. No. Rasulullah the same way. Imam Hussein the same way. He never says, why me, Allah? No. Allah wants me to be tested like this, and I wanted to. The biggest tragedy, yes, but I'm not losing everything by my behavior. Why? Because I'm controlling it. Because I know I rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the one who is in charge of everything in my life. We do our best, by the way. Imam Hussein, until the last moment, he did his best. So doesn't let that war happen. Don't think that yes, Allah wanted that to happen, but Imam Hussein did his job, so the hujjat is completed. There's no excuse for them that, oh, Hussein, you didn't say that you want to go somewhere else. No. Since Imam Hussein realized that the people of Kufa, they're against him, the true akhbar and the reports, and they don't want him. Since he saw that Hur ibn Yazid, he came with 1,000 soldiers, and he says, I do not let you go to Kufa, and I do not let you do anything to go towards that. Imam Hussein told him, all right, so I have the letters here with them, the letters. Hur said, oh, I don't know about the letters, but I'm not going to let you go to Kufa. Imam says, all right. The first step towards not let that war happen. Let me go somewhere else. Let me go back to Medina. No, I don't let you. Let me go to another place, third place. No, I don't let you go there. He forced Imam to go towards somewhere else, such as Karbala. You have to stay here. This is the hukm, and the Amir said, the governor said, you shouldn't go anywhere. Okay, until the hukm comes, what they want to do with you. Then Imam in Karbala, he's talking to Umar al-Sa'ad. Umar, why are you doing this? Let's have a negotiation. They're sitting, they're talking. Umar, what you're doing it? All right, you're doing this. This is wrong. If you want money, I'll give you money. They take your house from you, I'll give you a better house. Then Umar ibn Sa'd, he actually got convinced a little bit. He wrote a letter to Ibn Ziyad. He says, all right, I found a good solution. Why? The solution is that let Hussein go somewhere else. It's all over. So they don't have to have any issue. Anyhow, then it says, no, that's not the case. So Imam tried his best, not let that happen. But when that happens, he wants it and I want it. So mu'mineen, they do not put themselves in trouble and calamity purposely. But when that happens, it happens. They believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That might be a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's one practical step. How much you rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, brothers and sisters. Truly rely. See yourself in the middle of the turbulence of your life. Last one, something happened. Makes you so upset, kind of depressed. I know it was very difficult, but how much did you try? Did you try to rely on Allah in that situation? How much did you try to rely on your belief system, that you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That's another thing here that can help. The other one, the practical aspect that comes within our belief system, I'll stay here and finish with this, comes within our belief system, because when you have a belief system, you have a intuition, you have a worldview, how you look at things around you, how you see things, how you perceive things, why this happened. Imam Hussein, he sees Karbala as a test, Karbala as a battle of he control his nafs, he sacrificed everyone for the sake of Islam as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. And he doesn't lose everything, it's his belief system. At the end, he says, Ilahi ridan bi qada'ik. I'm satisfied. You want it, I want it. I'm satisfied with what you decree for me. That's fine. I'm submitted to your will. You want it, I want it. What does it mean? The worldview, how he looks at things, how he sees things, right? The perception of Imam towards that. That makes him successful here. And so how we look at things, brothers and sisters, around us, that's another important thing that can help us. You can't get away from tests. You can't get away from issues in life. Sometimes happen. It can be a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It just can be a shortcoming from ourselves. It happens. How do we perceive it? How do we control it? How do we see it? Having a worldview towards the test happens in my life. The bala happens. Someone who is not tested either is dead or she's not part of the school. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, rely them on themselves. Go whatever you want to do. Quran says, I don't test you. Good, that's fine. I'll see you at the day of judgment. That's scary. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relies someone on themselves, do whatever you want to do. You want to hurt others? You want to steal? You want to commit sins? Do it. You want to create the best world for yourself? You can't go be very rich. I do not do anything with you. I'll see you at the day of judgment. That's a horrible life. That's a dead life. Quran says the Asr of Jahiliyyah, the era of ignorance, people are dead. They were supposed to be under the ground, they're on the ground. Under, they're on. They're walking on the ground. But they're dead. Their soul is dead. Their emotion is dead. Imagine someone who can hurt. You see that can hurt a lot of innocent people, children, somewhere in the world. You look at him and say, you're dead. You have, your heart is dead. You don't believe, you don't feel anything. You don't have any mercy. That's what it is. That's what it comes with. The worldview that we have and how we analyze things around us. Yeah, that comes with what? That comes from our perception. That comes from how we see things around us. If someone, so far, let's stay with this. If someone has this perspective in terms of, I look at my belief system in calamities and issues in life, the turbulences that happen, how I'm supposed to control my emotions today, Islam comes and says, Quran says actually, don't be too happy with what we gave you. It might not be good for you, what you have. Don't be too sad about something. It might be good for you. You have tradition that says, don't be the way that something makes you so super overwhelmed about the happiness. No, control yourself. Opposite, when something that's sad and negative happens, don't be too negative. This is gonna go away. You're gonna pass this stage as well. Don't be too worried about this. Do your job, your responsibility, but don't make yourself overwhelmed with that. It will go away. Look at past issues that you have, over. Look at all those happy moments, many of them over. So control yourself, behave the way that is according to that level. Therefore, the belief system number one can help us regulate our emotions. And these emotions are actually what Islam is talking to us about. Control your anger, control your jealousy. Make your happiness in balance, the joy be in balance. What are the joys? According to the criterion that we have. Anything else, don't feel too lonely, do this, do that, these are the emotions, the set of emotions that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created for us, and He ordered us how to control them. Sallallahu alayhi wa abdullah. The best example for all these scenarios that we're talking about is Ashura, Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. The best example is Ahlul Bayt, the Usara, and the captured one after Ashura, how they could control their emotions, how they could conduct themselves in the best way. Sayyidah Zainab sallallahu alayhi, a few weeks being away from her father, from her brother, Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, after many other tragedies, how she's controlling and everything, how she's remembering and how she's controlling. Only recently that what happened to her brother, she still sees the head of the brother Hussein on top of his spears. She still remembers the moment that they shot an arrow to the neck of Ali Asghar. She still remembers what happened to Ali Akbar. She still remembers what happened to Qasim ibn al-Hassan. All these innocent human beings around her, She still see the head of all the shuhada of Karbala in front of her. Many times she distracted the children from seeing the heads in front of them. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. Salamun ala qalb Zainab al-Sabur. Salam to your heart, Zainab. Salam to you, Zainab. How patient you are. Zainab. This is the example of the sabr and patience. She's the example of taqwa. She's the example of controlling the nafs and desires. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. All together inshallah. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج والعافية والناس ومد في عمره الشريف وزين الأمر بطول بقائه واجعلنا من أعمال أنصار مشيئته يا رحمن الرحيم. ثبت قلوبنا على دينك بحق الحسين يا الله بحق السكينة والرقية. Ya Allah, hasten in the dhuhr of our Imam Mahdi. Do not let anyone from our generation be against the path of Ahlul Bayt and Quran. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, help us, support all mu'min and mu'minat and Muslimin and Muslimat to be able to follow the path and the religion of Islam. Those who have hajat, give them khair hajat. Those who are under difficulty, provide opportunities for the freedom. Those who are sick, cure them, and those who passed away, send the thawab and reward from our gathering to their soul. رحم الله من يقرأ الفاتحة مع الصلوات. معتمر حسين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعل الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. حسین آقا برفتم رو نرفتم کربلای تو بدل این آرزو بردم ندیدم بارگاهی تو، نشد قسمت که میرفتم میانه روضه عباس، پس آنگاه عرض می کردم که ای مولا نبودیم روز عاشورا که می کردیم امین جسمی ضعیف و لاغری خود را فدای تو. ای که گستی جمع ما را پادشاه، ای که گستی جمع ما را پادشاه، بر من آلوده کن مولا نگاه، بر من آلوده کن مولا نگاه، تازه باب قبل من مورد شوم، تازه باب قبل من مورد شوم، نوح خان گردم کنار قتلگاه، نوح خان گردم کنار قتلگاه، دلم به تو و مزارت میزند بال و پر، دلم به تو و مزارت میزند بال و پر، کی بزریگت برسم حسین ابن الحیدر، سار الله سار الله سار الله سار الله سار الله سار الله. سيدي أنت قتيل الأبرار، سيدي أنت قتيل الأبرار، سيدي أنت كثير الكربا، سيدي أنت كثير الكربا، منم غلام درگاهت یا ابا عبدالله، منم غلام درگاهت ای عزیز الزهرا، منم غلام درگاهت یا ابا عبدالله، میخوام برم به مزارت یا ابا عبدالله، میخوام برم به مزارت یا ابا عبدالله، دلم به تو و مزارت میزند بال و پر، دلم به تو و مزارت میزند بال و پر، کی بزریگت برسم حسین ابن الحیدر، سار الله سار الله سار الله سار الله سار الله سار الله. دیدن شش گوشت عمق بهشت، دیدن شش گوشت عمق بهشت، حق دلم را با غمت دم نوشت، حق دلم را با غمت عشقت سرشت، دست زهرا مادرت، دست زهرا مادرت روزی ازل، دست زهرا مادرت روزی ازل، روی سینه یا حسین مولا نوشت، روی سینه یا حسین مولا نوشت، دلم به تو و مزارت میزند بال و پر، دلم به تو و مزارت میزند بال و پر، کی بزریگت برسم حسین ابن الحیدر، سار الله سار الله سار الله سار الله سار الله سار الله. شام ماتم های زینب شد شروع، شام ماتم های زینب شد شروع، تازه عاشورای زینب شد شروع، تازه عاشورای زینب شد شروع، خیمه ها در آتش و طفلان حزین، خیمه ها در آتش و طفلان حزین، خفته بین خون یمی البنین، خفت بین خون یمی البنین. دلم به تو مزارت میزند بانو پر، دلم به تو مزارت میزند بانو پر. کی بزری گد برسم حسین ابن الحیدر. سار الله 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 سار الله. حسین من که با خوی و شمایل، حسین من که با خوی و شمایل، شبیه خاتم پیغمبرانم. من آن آزاد مردی انقلابم که عاشوراست روزی امتحانم. بابی انت و امی یا مظلوم یا ابی عبدالله، فیا لیتنا کنا معک ففوزا فوزا عظیما. که علی لعنت الله علی القوم الظالمین. بر محمد اهل بیت محمد صلوات. Inshallah, همه با هم جميعا inshallah together we will do the salam nama inshallah. تقبل الله أعمالكم. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا حبيب الله، السلام عليك يا محمد بن عبد الله، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوسيين يا علي بن أبي طالب، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء يا سيدة نساء العالمين يا بنت رسول الله يا قرة عين الرسول، السلام عليك ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا سبتي نبي الرحمة والإمام الهدى الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة أجمعين، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا قرة، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء، السلام عليك يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء، السلام عليك يا سلطان يا أبا الحسن، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا صاحب الزمان، السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. الأمان الأمان من فتن الزمان، أجل الله تعالى فرجك وسحر الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. شب جمعه ان شاء الله همه با هم دعای فرج. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توا وتمتعه فيها تميلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. بر محمد أهل بيت محمد صلوات الله.